Hello and welcome to the second annual Alternative but Not Too Alternative Gaming Awards, in which we celebrate the unusual in games which isn't so unusual that you'd move seats on a bus to avoid it. There have been far too many games for one person to play in 2014, particularly when that person releases videos at a pace south of glacial. But there are some niche themes that need applause, some overlooked incidents which could impact our 2015. So it is with great excitement that I announce 2014's Best Forest of Internet Dickheads. First, the nominees. Dota 2, strong as always, has reworked the Roche Pit to balance whole jungles of internet dickheads. A large Russian showing, always a boon in this category. We know they've got the internet dickhead market sewn up, and that hold is strengthening year on year. Next, DayZ, celebrating a year in early access. It is mixed terrain, but the quality of its dickheads is undeniable, as demonstrated in the award-nominated video DayZ, an anthropological study. But I wouldn't know anything about that. On now to our final nominee in the category of Best Forest of Internet Dickheads 2014. It's Evolve. It's only had an alpha, so you might be wondering what the justification is. I'm just gonna play the video.
Calvin, you're a piece of shit.
And the winner is... Evolve! Evolve has scored this year's award because it epitomises the concerted push throughout 2014 towards new kinds of multiplayer experience. I have concerns about balance issues inherent in the formula, but the very fact that a big budget monster-thon is embracing asymmetric multiplayer is something to celebrate. Second, I am a foliage nut. Leaves in games having remained firmly in the uncanny autumnal valley, even as human models have improved. Evolve's forest is the very best forest to die in with internet dickheads. It is so well crafted, the dense undergrowth an integral part of the hunting sensation. I actually interviewed the specific designer behind the foliage last month, and there is far more thought in it than you might imagine. But next on our thrilling list of awards is Earliest Access, acknowledging those games released so soon in development that they're mostly just pictures on post-it notes. The nominees start with LA Cops, a promising Hotline Miami-alike which boasts all the depths of its inspiration, but none of the refined control necessary for staying alive. Second is Life is Feudal, stable as a blancmange on a fault line, nevertheless charging 25 quid for the privilege. Finally, Battlefield 4, which liked to pretend it was finished for most of the year. And last year. And the prize goes to... Life is Feudal, which I really think demonstrates that if you're going down the early access route, a game has to be developed in specific ways. If you're offering something heavily systems driven to the public, the basic systems have to be there, finished and functional, to then elaborate on with community input. If the very foundations of your game, the minimum features required to be enjoyable, aren't there, in my mind you have some serious balls to ask 25 quid for it. Great clanking gonads. I love the concept and can't wait to see it fleshed out, but Life is Feudal is my unassailable earliest access. But now we come to a very exciting award from our sponsor. For the first time, I'm thrilled to present the transnational EA award for being a bit of a douche to UBISOFT. This is an award dedicated to a participant in the games industry which has been just a little bit meaner than was absolutely necessary. Not won by EA because of that weird thing towards the end of the year where they released some pretty sharp games. Ubisoft, by contrast, has had a fabulous November, releasing a French Revolution, which was messier than the first, not offering review codes for the crew, and having the spunk to issue a release urging people to ignore outlets advising them not to buy their games until they had seen a review from their favourite site, YouTuber or Village Wisewoman. Now I understand that they want critics to review a game like The Crew in full multiplayer force, not off the back of a press event. But that the statement came so soon after releasing the nit-ridden Assassin's Creed Unity, it looks like UB's black cloaks have been laundered and they're trying them out for swooshiness. They insisted that players had no need for early reviews because of their, and I quote, confidence in the stability of the crew and its performance. And oh wait, no, it turns out a lot of people couldn't join crews in The Crew. Add this to the fact that their games now exist in a tortured half-life between Uplay and Steam, and there's a good chance Ubi are getting coal for Christmas. But on to happier things for this year's adrenaline-pumping Best Inventory. There is one nominee and one runaway winner, Ether 1 being the only game this year I know to have innovated on an immutable, ostensibly dull staple of gaming. Ether 1 is a game about dementia. It's also an adventure puzzle game which follows the typical formula of find object, use object, solve problem. And boy, are there a lot of objects. Instead of a list-based inventory, you have a real inventory. At the press of a button, you walk to the case and stash your one carryable item on sets of shelves. You fill a room with junk. You don't know what these items are, but you sense something in this bewildering mess is important to you. The inventory is an integral, playable metaphor for the confusion that accompanies senile dementia, a true part of the game as opposed to a flat interface. I would love to see this line of design be applied more widely throughout 2015. But now to a derivative finale as we applaud the most blatant rip-off that was actually kind of okay of the year. It was closely fought, and commiserations to brave runner-up every pixel art platformer, but never was there more blatant a rip-off or actually kind of okay game than Lords of the Fallen. Way to lift the formula and, you know, do something alright with it. Lords of the Fallen is the heartwarming tale of a meat rack which gains sentience and grunts its way through dimensions comprised solely of lens flare. We're still waiting to hear about the BAFTA, but mechanically, its ever so delicate tweaks to Dark Souls' hacky, brawly, hardcore RPG formula have the rumblings of a coming subgenre. It was unmistakably a Souls wannabe, but tiny adjustments like the way dropped XP depletes over time, the interdependence of might and magic, and the more forgiving combat lent a brisk, western, and surprisingly fresh feel to things. Rough edges were there in plenty, but I'm pleased to see it's getting a sequel, and I want to see more Souls-alikes in the pipe. So there we have our alternative, but not too alternative 2014. Best Forest of Internet Dickheads, Earliest Access, the Transnational EA Award for being a bit of a douche, Best Inventory, and Most Blatant Ripoff that was actually kind of okay of the year. Small features, trends or events that I think 2015 will be stronger for remembering. Gaming in 2014 was busy and strange, but I'm glad I shared the ride. Thank you very much for tuning in at any point this year, and doubly so to anyone who's taken the time to share a video here or there. I'm done for Christmas, but leave your own personal alternative but not too alternative awards in the comments, because I would love to read them. Have a good one.